CC and the rest of the members of the People's Poetry Fest. You have bios, so you can read them before it comes up here or before. We'll have 15 minutes apiece for poets, and then I'll read in between, and then we'll have some questions and answers at the end. Maybe not so many answers, but a lot of questions, I'm sure. So, again, this panel is called Wall Killers. No Trump lovers need to fly. You have been warned. What are they? I'm gonna read two. This is called Free. America, of thee I dream, land of my fathers, land of immigrant forefathers, land of the me, land of immigrant dreams. America, do you cry for me, for what has been done to me, for what has been done to us, brown people, black people, red people, all people? America, land of the free, land of the living, land of the lost and looking for a way out of this mess. America, I weep for thee. If this 'tis of thee, dare not come again, this Plato's republic dream. America, this America, I dream of thee, forever free, American me. Woo! And the last one here. This is called Today We March. Today we march. Que viva! Because Cesar Chavez marched for farm labor rights in California, for Mexican American civil rights in America, for human rights in the entire world. Today we march. Que viva! Because Dolores Huerta marched, showing that Mexican Americans together could do more for the film worker, the orchard worker, the unreached, the lower classes, the real people. Today we march. Que viva! Because there are those still working those fields, those orchards, like my family and I did when I was younger, so that there may be fresh vegetables and fruits on your tables, your stovetops, your party trays, your grills, your drinks. Today we march. Que viva! Because there are those still working those fields, those orchards in Texas, California, Colorado. Anywhere there's a field or an orchard and a job that Americans claim is taken by immigrants or their descendants, yet no American really wants. Today we march. Que viva! Because Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta did, because all those fighting for farm labor rights did, because all those fighting for Mexican American rights did, because all those fighting for minorities' civil rights did. Today we march. Que viva! Because we can, because we need to, because if we don't, then we're back to where we started, forgetting that long road that was already paved for us. So today we march because we can. Si se puede, si se puede, si se puede.
It's only 5 fingers. Please, Mr. President, take your right hand out of your Armani suit and slowly raise it to your brow. Please, Mr. President, for a salute honors not only those who stand before you, but it honors those that came before. Please, Mr. President, never forget the salute. Now the tweeting, oh my gosh. The tweeting's left me shocked because after 6 tours to Iraq, I understand from the other side of the army, tweeting will kill. Now, we know our current president tweets it, and I wrote this point wishing he would stop tweeting because I know what happens when you still do tweet. Mr. President, stop tweeting. Stop tweeting. Tweets are being watched by the enemy all around the world. For when we went to get Saddam and we broke down the door made of gold in one of his 3 palaces, we saw, this is true, it's a true story, we saw 250 computers, and these computers were all linked to Twitter. downloading tweets. These tweets that were separated according to subject, with an emphasis, a spotlight placed on government tweets. One room in a palace. Stop tweeting, Mr. President. Stop tweeting, Mr. President. Or, Jack Webb said it perfectly in the 1953 movie, The D.I. You had better hope that someone doesn't get killed because of your foolishness. Stop tweeting, Mr. President. For those of us that survived Iraq, know the enemy is firmly aware of Twitter. Please, Mr. President, stop tweeting. That was a true story. When we broke down the door in Saddam's palace, they had 250 computers all up. They were downloading tweets from around the world. It was amazing. Hard copies, stuff you saw on the computers. So tweeting does, I'm surprised he still does it. This one's for Maya Angelou. She became a friend, and this is a poem I wrote about her. Inauguration Day, January 20th, 1993. I stood with Maya. Moments before she stepped out to read her poem on the pulse of the morning. It was Inauguration Day. 30 degrees in Washington, D.C. on that cold morning. We stood side by side outside, hidden from the cameras, me and Maya. While we stood together, she started to sing Amazing Grace real softly. I joined in, 18 years old, and started to sing with her. We sang Amazing Grace. At the end of the song, it was her time to step out into history. Inauguration Day, she stepped out to read the poem on the pulse of the morning. And I have a personal connection to the wall. And this is two poems that will bring it all together. Because I was actually affected by the wall. Now, back in 1993, I spent a full 8 years at the White House as one of 4 careers with President Clinton. They decided to do an unannounced meeting at the border. It wasn't publicized. It was President Clinton at the time, a young Donald Trump, and 2 other prominent Texas millionaires. They went down to look at the border. I went with them. And I had the most shocking experience. This would be February 1994. And this experience followed me all the way to graduation from here in 2016. This is called The Traveler. This is on the border. Now, to set the scene up, the party's further ahead of me. I'm staying back a little bit. I'm walking along. We're near the water. Now this is the shock of it. This is the morning time, 9:45 a.m. The travelers step out in the rising sunlight. I stood transfixed. Her hair was scraggly. She stood with her sister. They looked to be travelers. I asked, "Who are you?" Scared of the powerful white men that stood no more than half a mile down the path from the border, they were scared. They were shaking their hands like this. I brought my finger to my mouth like this. Those 2 powerful white men spoke. These are 2 prominent Texas millionaires that are still around. Spoke of send them back. Send them all back. President Clinton's warned them, we can't do that. As I could hear them talk, the 2 girls, they were young, could be no more 15, 16, young girls. They stood near the water, they came up. I held my fingers to my lips. All I can think of is at that time, I had a lot of money on me. I was young and I was not married. And I had, that day I had about $1,500 in cash on me. At the moment I held my finger to my lips, I pulled the young girl close. took the money from my pocket, $1,000, put it in her hand, told her, this signal, be quiet, don't be seen. She took the money. I gave them both a hug. They disappeared. I went back to the party. They're all still a lot. They started to talk, bad talk. Sit in the back. Why put up with it? We need a order. This is talk back in the 90s. The travelers departed for a new life. However, we shall meet again. Fast forward, graduation day, 2016. Standing outside the American Bank Center, graduation was over. Seeing the families leave, friends have gone, I stood by myself. I stood looking at the beauty of the day. The sun was out, graduation was over. I heard a voice say, I never got to thank you for that day. Who is that? I turned my head slowly around. I saw a beautiful young woman in a graduation gown. I recognize you. She walks up. She gave me a hug. She says, we made it that day because of you. It was the young girl, all graduated from Texas A&M. She had graduated also from the Iowa University. That day, back in the 90s, I've always been in conflict about the wall. Yes, I've been on the Republican side because of the business, but the wall has kind of left me between both parties. And that was graduation day. I got to meet her again, which was a surprise. And she graduated from the nursing program from Texas A&M. I'd been here and never knew she was on the island. So it was an interesting afternoon. I have one more poem dedicated to Tom, who's inspired me to pursue the English program, him and Robin. When I came back from Vietnam with my then fiance, I got held up in Los Angeles. I was told I resembled a fugitive. Now I'm white and I'm not usually used to getting detained, so I was looking physically. This is interesting. I'm a writer, so this inspired me because all the time during my detainment, I could not get Tom Murphy's Betrayal of Bukowski from the last poetry festival out of my brain. The 3 days I spent sitting in the room. So this is dedicated to Tom. Arriving back to LAX from Vietnam with my then fiance, I was detained. They said I resembled a jewel thief. I told the guy, is this Dynasty from the 80s? And I'm white, I'm not used to being detained. This was a new experience. I've never been stopped in my life. That moment, I kind of understood what the feeling you get when you do get stopped. All right, back to the poem. I stood there shocked and surprised. During my 3 days in confinement, I sat on one chair in a white room. The one person that came to my mind was Tom Murphy. I could not get Tom's voice out of my mind. His portrayal of Bukowski was so amazing and so well done at the last poetry festival. I heard all his words again, the sum of my thoughts, because Tom is